Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Rime of the Frostmaiden, Part 29, the Isle of, I wanted to say Solitude earlier, but that's just because it was a Superman reference. Island of Solstice. Hello, everybody. Today is August 8th, 2021, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point. Or if you are more of an audiocast inclined individual, you can find us anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on that Patreon and we will do our best to respond in kind. Easiest way to ask those questions as well, join us on Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audio link down below. But if you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful spaces, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this incredible show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, notepads, stickers, baseball tees. I love myself a good baseball tee. I am wearing the Trans Pride shirt right now. Hey, guess what? They're super comfy cozy. I would recommend going to check that out. We also have face masks done by our very own Cyberwolf1201. We call them Tia masks because they have our own symbol of Tiamat upon them, where all of the proceeds of those masks end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. Hey, Satan, who you playing today?
Hi everyone, my name is Satan, and I will be playing Kuori, my Goliath fighter, and we both go by she/they.
Oh, hi everybody, it's me, LizMac, and I will be playing our sweet fiend, rock gnome cleric Lydia. We both use she/her pronouns.
I am the indoor adventurer, and tonight I shall be playing Hart, the wood elf druid. We both use he/him.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be the DM for tonight. I use she, her pronouns. Let's get right into it. Behold her everlasting rhyme, see how it covers all. Weep not for those she traps in time, behind her glacial wall. When we last left off, I have been listening to Anita Ward's Ring My Bell nonstop this entire week because we did ring a bell, and it was Angajuk's bell, and Angajuk happens to be a gigantic sperm whale. Last week, y'all had fought off some whalers who were after Angajuk, and they had kidnapped one of your kobold friends, who is now very joyously announcing its name to be Bait. And I believe when Bait had gotten tossed off to the side by Angajuk, seemingly not tempted by a kobold snack. And Angajuk broke up out of the ice, having a boat with a large prow spear sort of protruding from it, like strapped to its head. It's got a belt with tassels hanging off of it, sort of hanging down over the front part of its melon. And that is actually what it's called. It's a melon. The front part of a whale type creature. And so Angajuk rises from the depths, sort of fixes one of you with a calf brown eye, and you hear this loud echoing voice that just sort of resonates inside your rib cage, and it goes, "Who rung my bell?"
They are speaking common?
Yep.
I think, like...
Actually, it's speaking whale.
God. Hey, I just wanted to make sure. We're all speaking
okay.
whale.
That's totally a language that Hart would be proficient in, right?
Yeah. I watched a lot of Finding Nemo in my youth. Not gonna lie.
East Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Yep, indeed. But it is speaking in common, but in a very whale-like fashion.
I feel like if the camera was near Hart at all, he is like, the eyes are white, there's like foam coming out of his mouth. Like the fact that like these creatures can apparently speak people is just horrifying to him.
It speaks people.
Kuori is just in as much shock as she did not expect a whale to speak common. And she just stands there looking between all of them and the dead pirate whaler, whatever. The gay pirate whalers. The gaylers.
The gaylers.
Or as I like to call them, the seamen. Anyway, it looks at Angajuk and says, "Hi."
Hello. My name is Angajuk.
I think Lydia will step forward and be like, hello, we were not the ones that rang your bell. However, the ones that did ring your bell were trying to cause you harm, so we put a stop to that. You are safe with us, and it turns out that you're actually who we were looking for.
It is.
I believe so. I believe this is who we were here to try and speak with.
No.
Wasn't it?
No.
Well, it's who
We're
we're
here
looking
for a
now,
druid.
Kuori.
I guess we're here for a druid.
I think
You were
Lydia will
looking for Anga.
Yes.
Anga is dead.
You'll have to excuse me. Your name is very similar. It's just longer than.
I can see where the confusion is.
Thank you. Wait, you guys, do you think this is actually a whale, or do you think this is a druid shapeshifted as well? Is this and Lydia
That's
just
a
turns around
diversion.
and is smiling again.
I think this is a whale.
Do we trust this whale?
It helped us.
Okay.
Long ago, when I was young,
Oh shit. Okay.
I was friends with a druid named Anga. And then Anga cast a spell on me. And now I can
Oh,
talk.
it's like friend Hart.
I don't know.
And Hart's just
And
like,
think. And reason. And make friends.
Hart, do you want to eat us?
No.
And like you can see, like visibly much more comfortable at this confirmation. Just, and then Hart will ask, Angajuk, we had something really important that we wanted to ask you, and we were wondering if, if you would be able to help us with something.
Angajuk turns their enormous head so that they can fix you with that calf brown eye.
Like looking at Hart's, like the clothing on it, you can see that like there is like his heart's pounding being this close to a fucking whale. We need to go somewhere in the sea of moving ice, and we were told that Anga was really good at navigating the sea by one of our friends. Her name was Valin. Do you know Valin?
I do not. And as you're speaking to Angajuk, Valin will actually come rushing down the cliffside, and like seeing like all of the bodies around, like she looks ready for a fight. But then she realizes that you're talking to this whale and not necessarily in a lot of duress. So she like arrives with hands up ready for a fight, and then she just sort of looks around and then like sort of brushes herself off, and her owl will come flying in and flutter to her shoulder.
Anga's dead.
Ah,
For
This is
quite some
Angajuk.
time.
I see.
It's a whale. They are a whale.
I see. This must be the way that Anga was able to traverse the ocean.
Not by the ice, but rather by the waves.
Indeed.
Angajuk, have you helped people cross this ocean recently?
No. It has been many years since I have taken passengers.
Would you be willing to?
Yes.
We'd
Would
be very
you like
grateful.
to be a passenger?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you okay with that, Hart?
It's the only way. And Hart has like steeled his resolve.
Lydia's like looking through her
And
little
then it
purse.
just like descends into the water until just the boat is visible above the ice, and you hear like slightly muffled from beneath the ice, "And board my vessel."
Lydia will quickly like look through her purse, and like at the bottom of her bag, she pulls out one like this little bracelet, and she walks over to Hart and just says, "Hart, could I see your hand for a second?"
He holds out both.
So she'll slip this bracelet onto his right hand, and it's one of those like little magnetic anti-seasickness bracelets because she lives in a dock town and she knows that people get like seasick and stuff on the waves. So she'll just this should help make the ride a little smoother just in case.
And I don't think he even bothers to ask how. He just is like taking it at face value.
Because I don't know how. I just know that it does.
Okay, are you all ready to board?
Villain, you're coming with us, right?
Of course.
Hart, do you want to hold my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we have all the kobolds? Lydia will start counting. Bait.
Yep.
Where's
There
bait? Where's bait?
There are 5 kobolds total. You can see, like, I want to say that in the background of this entire scene, you've seen, like, the kobolds kind of doing slapstick comedy, getting bait untied and trundling over to the whale.
Okay.
I'll abort then, I suppose.
Yes.
In fact, each of the kobolds, now that bait has gotten a name, they all seem intent on getting names. And so, like, they will, like, rush up to Valin and kind of pull on her robes and say that they want names.
They don't have names.
I'm gonna look at one and say, your name's Trout.
Trout! Sorry, that one's Trout now.
Yeah.
This is what you've done.
Your name's Squid.
Squid!
Ori, there's something fishy about all these names.
I know. Your name's Hook.
Hook.
Oh dear.
That one, he's villain. Watch out for Hook. He's got a mean streak a mile wide.
He has goals of becoming captain.
He, like, just turns around. He's got, like, this one claw.
Yeah.
Trout, squid, hook, bait. There's one more.
Cicero. No.
Cicero.
Lipschitz.
Who speak things and they are in existence.
Are you actually gonna name this one Cicero?
No. I'm gonna name that one Tackle.
Tackle. All right. Tackle does not
Tackle.
respond.
Oh,
Okay.
he's the silent one.
Listen, if you guys let me name things, I'm gonna name them.
It'll
Like
happen,
Bobbert.
man. Bobbert.
I love the names.
Bubber and was it Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike Sickle. Exactly.
Mike is short for Mike Sickle.
It's Bob and Mike. Anyway, fucking Trout goes, Trout! And like lifts Bait up, who's like still like kind of wiggly and like still a little bit tangled up in ropes, and he just chucks him onto the whaleboat hat.
Kuori's gonna step onto the whale, holding Hart's hand, like stepping in first, just to let him know that there's not an issue. Like, you can go on, it's all right.
Have you
Lydia
ever
will be
been with
right behind
somebody?
Hart.
I was gonna say, have you ever been with somebody in a haunted house who really does not want to be in that haunted
I am
house?
that person in the haunted house.
Yeah, that's Hart right now. Like his eyes are closed, or like if they are, like he's just like looking down directly at the ground. Like, not a good time for him.
Baby, no.
It's okay.
Yep. Everybody scrambles into the whaleboat. And like Valen like just sort of sits and waits and makes sure that everybody's in there before she hops up herself. The kobolds kind of scramble their way in. And then Angajuk says, "Is everyone aboard?"
Yes.
Yes.
Please keep your limbs, arms, hands, and tails inside the vessel at all times. And like it starts to lower slowly into the water. You can see the frigid waves begin to rise. And alarmingly, the water comes up to the boat part of the vessel and like overtakes it. However, instead of the boat taking on water, instead a bubble of air forms around the actual passenger part of the boat. And as you submerge beneath the water, you find that you can breathe normally, and you can actually see through the water. And it's a full-on submersible. Like you're you're going under the water with
This is a
Angajuk.
submersible aquarium tour.
Exactly. And like the bubble of water does, or the bubble of air does kind of like jiggle and move the way that like an actual bubble does underwater. And you get the idea that like it does not provide much like physical protection. It will protect you from the water and basically nothing more.
This is... I know you're scared,
Kuori.
Hart, but this is very cool.
I feel like with this happening, like they go underwater, and then like when the outside noise stops, Hart will like open his eyes and like look around, and I think that he's just like absolutely enamored, like looking up, seeing the light penetrate through. With like the deep green sea color mixed with like chunks of ice and like that kind of lighter blue color that ice has when you're looking up through it. And like he's fine with being underwater now, as long as he's not like looking down into the unfathomable depths. Like looking up, he loves this.
Yep. And this area, like you can actually see the sea bottom for now. There is like it's kind of just a sandy sort of almost like Play-Doh texture to the earth floor or the sea floor here. You actually see a few sparse schools of fish with just sort of a silver sheen as they dart in between the beams of light that come down between the cracks in the ice. Every once in a while, a small pod of whales or dolphins or belugas will come and swim alongside Angajuk. And like they will sort of chatter at Angajuk, who will just sort of like do like a high pitched, whine.
A whale noise, an actual whale noise
back
yeah.
at them. And it seems that this is a common occurrence for them. This is Angajuk's friends. And Angajuk just sort of plods and meanders at a fair clip through the sea, but does not seem to be in any hurry as they move along. Every now and then, when something interesting comes into view, Angajuk will chime in and be like, "On your left, you can see that there is the sea shelf."
Amazing.
Many creatures like to live here,
Angajuk.
such as walruses and seals. Seals like to eat penguins.
Angajuk, are there? And Lydia will kind of like just go up to wherever she thinks the best way to whisper to Angajuk would be.
You're on a whale, so.
My melon is very sensitive.
Are there any predators in these waters that we have to be on the look for?
Oh, many. But most are too small to bother me. We will stay shallow enough that the squids do not attack.
Oh, good. Okay, yep, okay.
Are you okay, Lydia?
I just worry about things with beaks and teeth.
Do not mind them. They are delicious.
You should just stay close to me, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put you in my jacket.
And looking
And
over
I'm
the
just
edge,
holding Hart's hand.
you can see that Angajuk's gray, thick hide is actually pockmarked and sort of crisscrossed with various scars and scratches from living the dangerous life of existing
whale.
in the sea
Yeah.
of moving ice. Like, I mean, yes, being a whale, you know, like whales in general will have like battle damage, but Angajuk especially so, just considering what else is down here. As Angajuk swims along, they'll point out shipwrecks. Also, they seem to kind of like zigzag and meander and move in various directions. And there comes a point where like the light begins to fade, and you realize that this trip is going to take longer than a few hours. And in fact, I think that Valin will actually step forward and say to Angajuk, exactly how long is this going to take? And Angajuk is like, if you are going to the moving isle, a few days.
All right.
Okay, is there any particular place that you would like us to have our sleeping arrangements? Is there any like protocol for the journey? We just want to make sure that we're as respectful as we can be while you're assisting us.
Rest wherever you are comfortable.
Okay. I think what Lydia's gonna do as well is, how big is the bubble?
I want to
tall?
say
There's a picture of it. I think we put a picture of it in.
This is true.
yeah, it's at least 30 feet in any given direction, like a 30-foot diameter, I'd say.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more than that. It's like about the size of a schooner.
I see.
A schooner? A schooner? Where's
I think
GB with all of his aquatic terms?
I think that Lydia will take the time to do ritual cast Lydia's tiny hut. Just for that extra level of safety.
Yeah. I can respect that.
So I think that each night when we're resting, Lydia will do that ritual cast for 8 hours while everyone gets a full night's rest.
Mm-hmm. I think Kuori's just, even throughout the day while they're like just swimming through the oceans, just gonna lay there and just look up as they move through the ocean.
Yeah.
I used to live up in the mountains. I never thought I'd be down in the bottom of the sea.
And there's plenty to look at. Like, it is eerily quiet under here. though you can hear the faint crackling of the ice moving above. And as you get closer to the ocean floor, you can hear all of the like biodiversity. It's they're surprisingly noisy for like shellfish. They like this kind of like popping and crackling sound every now and then. Bubbles go traveling to the surface can be very loud.
Yeah, I feel like if Kuori is like laying down, like looking at stuff, Hart has gone from like pure adjunct terror to childlike wonder. Just like, what's that? What's that? What's
It's a
that?
crab.
What's
This
that?
is starfish. This is schoolfish. I don't know what that is.
And like he has never seen anything like this before. He never thought in a million years that he would be like under the water and not like being pulled down by the creature that they are currently riding. So he's just having a time.
I think that Lydia is taking everything in, but also wanting to speak with Valen a little bit and just try and see if she can get more, just any more information about Valen and, you know, the quest that we are being sent on.
Sure.
Sort of just.
What do you ask her about specifically?
I think like day 1 or 2, Lydia's like, oh, like, what's your story? How did you become an adventurer? Like, do you prefer fighting hand-to-hand combat, or do you use magic? That type of deal, just like trying to get to know Valen.
Right. Well, Valen is kind of later in her years, particularly by like a medieval standpoint. She's around 50, 60 years old. And she didn't actually start using magic until her 40s. And she basically explains that she joined the Arcane Brotherhood and is skilled in the arcane tradition of necromancy. And she, like, as she, like, talks to you and stuff like that, she tends to kind of hold her hands together. And you will notice over the course of 3 days, whenever she uses her hands for anything aside from magic, there's a slight tremor to them. And if it's brought up at all, she will mention kind of offhandedly she has a nervous disorder and doesn't really dwell on it.
Yeah, I can understand not wanting to dwell on things we can't actively change. And then I think Lydia will make sure not to bring it up again, the tremor or shaking or anything like that. And then like day 2 and 3, Lydia's kind of like, so have you ever been on a quest this important or this big, or do you have any idea what we're going to be walking into?
She thinks for a moment. My understanding is that the Isle of Solstice can potentially be a very dangerous place.
Everywhere is dangerous if you're the wrong place at the wrong time or with the wrong people.
But that's why I'm bringing you all along.
We're pretty good people to have in your corner if things get a little dicey.
I'm counting on that.
Just keep in mind as well that we're not the people to cross in any way. Just be honest with us, we'll be honest with you, and you definitely want us on your side.
I'm sure the feeling is mutual.
And Lydia will kind of like nod in respect and just sort of go back to playing with the kobolds a little bit. And I think that Lydia would also like to attempt to teach Bait to read.
Why Bait specifically?
So I have it in my head that Lydia, because Lydia enjoys reading a lot, and Lydia will just be like sitting down reading, and Bait will like keep approaching her and just being like,
What's that?
like curious. What's that? And she will just attempt to teach Bait how to read.
Oh, bless. All right, well, Bait will do an intelligence check. 6.
Cutie.
Do you teach them how to write their names?
No!
Oh, Lydia sets up little craft stations so they can make name tags for themselves.
Oh, that's so precious. God,
100%.
break my goddamn heart. All right.
Little, hello, my name is Bait. Hello, my name is Trout.
They all get name tags.
Kuori tries to include Hart in this if he wants to learn how to read or write.
Yeah, I think Hart would.
Yeah. So this is how you spell your name, and this is how people spell the actual word for a physical heart. It's pretty similar.
And Hart looks at it, and then there's just a pause. And he says, "This is my name?"
That's your name.
And then
Hart.
and he like you just see him like tracing it with his fingers. And I think he just has this big smile on his face. Like as long as you let him keep this paper, like he's just like retracing like over and over again. Heart.
Yeah.
Heart.
She's gonna give him like a little charcoal pen and get him to like mimic this is an H, an A, an R, and a T. Together it spells heart, your name.
And then he will ask, after like he's like mastered, quote unquote, writing
Has
his own
mimicked
name.
these symbols.
Yeah. He'll ask how to write stag.
Oh, she'll show him. So this is an S, a T, an A, and a G. Stag.
Yeah, and Hart
That's your brother.
Hart just writes like heart and stag like over and over again. Like like fills up this paper as much as he can. And he starts doing the thing where it's like he'll write heart lengthwise and then he'll put like an H above the A in heart and then like write down and like just like fill it up as much as he possibly can.
Oh. Yeah, she'll gotta write the names.
No, we are on a boat that is a whale under the ocean, and we decide to open a school.
Yeah.
Schools are for fish.
Exactly.
I love you guys. I love this party so much.
Valyn sort of watches with mild interest, and she will study, basically spend this time flipping through her spell book, and making sure that everything that she has is in order. However, if she finds anything particularly adorable about this situation, it is not expressed.
Bait and the others just come up with like, look, I wrote my name. Look,
Yeah, it's very much like, yes, interesting, very good. Like, not even looking.
I would like to think that canonically Trout was having a very difficult time writing their name, so instead we just taught them how to draw like one of those little
Draw
quick
fish.
Yeah. So it's just like, hello, my name is, and then a fish.
I love that. It's so fucking cute. Oh god. What a great game. All right. So yes, 3 days pass. If there's anything else that happens between this particular group, I'd like to hear it. The whale itself will surface every 90 minutes or so. That's just kind of like the time underwater that it's comfortable with having. And it does become clear that there is a certain amount of sightseeing that the whale is doing on the way there. It seems that they take a certain amount of pleasure in introducing people to things that it gets to see all the time that people from the surface never really do. In fact, there is a moment where they literally take you to some undersea ruins with these polished white pillars that have crumbled almost to nothing. And you find that these pillars are actually about as wide in diameter as like Kuori is in height. Like these things are huge, like absolutely enormous. and Angajuk will explain that these are actually giant ruins, specifically Cyclops, as giants tended to live in this area long ago.
Corey's like taking notes as Angajuk's giving him detail about what this was. Like, oh shit.
Oh, you're muted.
I was gonna say, like, if Kuori is like taking notes, like, oh shit, this is really interesting. Like, Hart is right next to you, also with a piece of paper, just but like only writing Hart over and over again.
Very important notes.
I love that.
He
I
is
think that-
studious too now.
Mhm.
Lydia will take some time in the evening, like once everyone has kind of settled down, like the night after Kuori has helped Hart write his name and like make him a special notebook. And it's got like she quickly draws some antlers on it, and she writes Hart in big bold letters on the outside, but then she uses the A in Hart for the A in stag, so it says Hart and then stag,
Like vertically.
yeah, and she's just gonna hand it to Hart with a fresh charcoal so that when he does want to practice writing, that's what he can write in.
He's gonna fill that fucker up.
During those 3 days, Query would have asked Lydia to send a message to their very big friend that they were not showing up. We just ghosted them.
Oh no, we ghosted.
Oh, whoops.
I would like to think that we probably didn't remember the first night, and so it was probably like day 2 that we.
Oh shit.
Hi there,
Realized.
it's Lydia. I am so sorry. We met a whale friend. All is good. Until next time. Sorry again. Okay, bye.
No worries. Whales are chill. See you another time.
And Lydia will tell the rest of the squad that our very big friend is okay. Knows that
Okay,
we're
that's
okay.
good.
We cut to Tinjong, who is like busy gathering like a whole bunch of berries and just sort of like, and then starts walking back to their house.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, but we met a whale.
We met a whale. I can't compete with whales.
That's true.
They're so much cooler than me. All right. So yes, I'll say on the 3rd day of travel, you are surfaced for the time being. It turns out that Valin's owl gets kind of nervous underwater, and is taking the opportunity to sort of spread their wings, and is just sort of flying in slow, lazy circles around the whale as it's taking a break. And sorry, I just imagined a whale on a smoke break.
Breathes in, and then just like through the blowhole, just like a small billow.
Yep. Yeah, just sort of chilling out for the time being. And you actually see that there is a really thick fog on the horizon, and the water itself has begun to become a little bit more, how should I say, tumultuous. There's a lot more movement in this particular area. And Valin just sort of looks off to the horizon. She says, "We must be getting close."
I feel like the closer we get, the more quiet Corey becomes. And I feel like with Hart and Lydia, who know her so well, it's that type of nervousness that it's not like someone's like stimming or shaking a leg. It's just they become very quiet
Yeah.
and very solemn as they get closer to the island.
The owl lands and sort of shivers, not necessarily from the cold, but from the anticipation of descending back under the water. And Valin just sort of takes it and lets it sit on her shoulder, and the owl kind of cuddles up next to her, and she doesn't really react at all. She continues to read her books, and Angajuk descends back under the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And it occurs to you that if the owl had a name, Valin has not informed you of what that is. As you get closer to your destination, Lantern Noir, thank you for the raid.
Lantern Noir, thank you.
Oh, that was
That's
a good one.
Angajuk's bell.
Yeah, that's
That's
Angajuk's bell.
Whee! All right. As you get closer to your destination, Lydia, you begin to feel a familiar sort of creeping sensation of dread and despair, as you recall that the last time that you were in the Sea of Moving Ice, there was a very strong presence of undeath from all of the people who have perished in the ocean and never moved on, basically. And likewise, the closer and closer you get to the Isle of Solstice, there are more and more just like rendered shipwrecks, just the corpses of all of these boats that are ripped open and left to rot on the seafloor. It is just almost like an underwater forest of masts with these ripped billowing sails sort of slowly floating in the underwater currents. And the sea floor itself is like in this Arctic setting, it is either kind of a big vast expanse of sand, or there are these very vibrant spots of color where there are these small colonies of shellfish and all sorts of critters that tend to accumulate in these small ecosystems. And here, it's kind of just pockmarked with bits of dark colored sand or wood, some sort of detritus rocks. It's not entirely clear. But as you move further and further, Lydia, that feeling of despair begins to clutch at your chest and really stifle your breathing and your heart. And just as it starts to get to be to a point where you feel like it should be something that maybe you should worry about, you can see a movement in the water. Just these shadows, silhouettes, just sort of drifting side to side. And it's the unmistakable visage of a human being, just sort of moving slowly through the current.
I think that throughout this entire experience, the more dread that Lydia feels, sort of like the tighter she clasps at her raven symbol that holds her fur coat on, to the point where when it gets to that peak before she sees the face, she looks down and the wooden clasp has like actually started to make her hand bleed. She was clasping it so tightly. And she'll just sort of say a prayer a little above silent to the Raven Queen, having flashbacks of the last time that she was in the Sea of Moving Ice and all of those ghostly hands grabbing at her, saying that she doesn't belong, trying to pull her under, and now she is willingly under the Sea of Moving Ice. And I think when it gets to that point, where she sees that face, that she'll get Kuori and fill Kuori and Hart in on what she's been seeing and that she's scared.
As Lydia is explaining the situation, there is a moment where you pass by one of those shadows in the water, and the closer you get to it, it's like this sort of like fuzziness begins to come into clarity. It coalesces into a more cohesive silhouette. And then, like a spotlight shining onto it, suddenly its skeletal face becomes visible, and it just looks at you with clear derision. And the whale just moves past it, and that shadow stays where it is for a moment, and then it begins to slowly follow. And there are more shadows in the ocean that begin to move in your direction. And like from an outside perspective, we see the whale moving through the water, and then just this cloud of darkness beginning to advance on it from behind.
Lydia, seeing this, would like to use channel divinity to turn undead. So that is so what everyone sees on the ship is Lydia kneels for a moment, clasping at her now slightly blood-covered raven symbol, and says a prayer to the Raven Queen to guide them in safe passage and keep them safe from the undead. And Lydia thinks and doesn't think the kobolds are undead, correct?
There's at least one of them.
One, oh no. Oh, tackle! Is it undead creatures I choose?
I think it's
good
within
question.
a range.
Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
I'll just pinch him, it's fine.
He's a kobold. He's probably got like 3 hit points. You pinching him could KO him.
It's going to kill him. Oh my god.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, Kuori, you make sure tackle doesn't go anywhere. Okay, tackle him if you must.
Okay, Melinda, keep an eye on tackle.
But yeah, Lydia, you see this twilight purple mist start to go a 30-foot radius, which I believe is the radius of the bubble. It should go, she'll stand at like one side of it, so it goes outside of the bubble, and any undead,
like towards the end
tackle,
of it.
Yeah, I'll make tackle stand at the other end.
Yeah.
But so the 30-foot will go.
So Lydia begins to say her prayer, and has Valin hold tackle at the front of the boat as you move to the back. And I feel like you come to the end of your prayer right as you reach the very back of the boat. And there is this ghostly white light that just sort of emanates from you in a 30-foot radius. And all of the shadows that were just beginning to catch up and get close to you, suddenly their faces are illuminated. There's a ghastly visage of skulls and rotting limbs, and they are thrust backward as they are filled with the fear of the radiant. And you can see that, like, once again, like pulling back and looking at it from an audience's perspective, we can see that shadow begin to sort of swirl around the sphere of the invisible sphere that has formed around the whale. How long does Turn Undead last for?
Minute.
1 minute.
1 minute. All right. You can, like, Angajuk like has pretty good senses. They can tell that this is turning into a dangerous situation, so they begin to like move in sort of like a serpentine fashion, trying to avoid these creatures, and like will dive a little bit deeper to try and get away from them. And as Angajuk does so, that darkness that you see coating the seafloor reveals itself to be just dozens and dozens of bones, all just like coating the seafloor. There is no sand or stone here. It is nothing but corpses.
That's not good.
Certainly not the greatest. Does Lydia like hear anything? Like, are they saying anything? Because she's thinking back to the last time she encountered corpses in the sea of moving ice.
Yeah, come to think of it, there is a sort of soft sound, like an undertone, a growl, and if you listen carefully, you can hear the hissing whispers of "doesn't belong."
Well, Kuori, how much longer do you think we're gonna be down here?
I'm not sure. Do you want me to tell Angajuk to move up?
Maybe going at the surface, if possible, might be a better option for now.
Kuori will pat whatever skin she can find from Angajuk and say, Angajuk, I think it's better if we head towards the surface.
Angajuk begins to rise, and you start coming towards the end of your turn undead. And as you rise further and further, those shadows begin to coalesce, come closer, and Angajuk breaks the surface and says, "This is bad."
Oh no, even the whale has a bad feeling about this.
Oh god.
There is a thick fog up here on the surface. You can hear like the snapping and gnashing and gnawing of the dead below. However, as you're moving through the fog, the whale kind of has to like move and meander through the ice to try and not knock its boat hat against it. And it says, "Don't like the surface."
Okay.
So underwater, bad. Surface, bad. Angajuk, can you fly?
No,
No.
but he
Didn't think
can.
so.
And like there is a shadow that falls over you.
Go down.
And
Go down.
Oh
Go
no,
down.
it's a dragon!
you look up just in time to see the spread feathered wings of an enormous bird as its talons come down, trying to basically like jab into into his poor melon. Angajuk dives below the ocean, and those talons close on icy waters. And Angajuk says, "There's a bad bird here. It doesn't like me."
No. Oh no. This is not good. Oh shit.
We're really stuck between a rock and a hard place, huh?
I guess you could say a glacier in a hard place.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I was trying to think of another fucking pun, but it's not coming to me. Anyway,
They come in waves. It's
here
fine.
comes the
Yeah.
undead. I'd like everybody to go ahead and roll initiative
Oh,
as you descend into the waiting arms of your beloved friends.
I really don't know which one's worse. Lydia will give Kuori Blessing of the Vigilant, so you have advantage on your initiative.
Okay,
roll.
cool. Let me roll that physically because I got a 10 digitally. Oh, that's better.
15 for Lydia.
15 for Lydia.
16 for Kuori.
16 for Kuori.
I got a 6.
And a 6 for Hart. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sort this initiative. For the sake of brevity, assume that the kobolds and Valin are fighting their own set of monsters. I could add them to the initiative, and I could add extra monsters to them to balance it out, but that's just going to bog things down. So we're just going to be focusing on what you guys are up to. Use your imagination. Valin and kobolds are fighting too.
They're really cool off on the
They're
side.
super cool.
It's a really neat action shot. It's like the 360.
Trout has just found a fish and like grabbed it from out of the bubble and is just beating things with the fish, yelling Trout.
Yeah. It's like a trout. It's just like the rib cage of the fish. You know, it's like a swordfish. It's like
Fucking swordfish head skeleton.
Yep. It's super cool. The hook has got like a big long spear with a hook on the end of it. Tackle is like being a real a real scary zombie guy, and like he like fucking tackles things.
Yeah,
because that's what zombies do.
Yeah. I knew I named him right.
Squid has got like, I'm gonna say Squid has like maybe like 2 maces with like the ball and chain sort of thing, and so he comes at you going like, ah!
Just like squids.
Just like squids. That's what a squid does, right?
It yells at you and flails.
Anyway, that is what happens. And meanwhile, Valin is very coldly and coolly casting spells into the water. Her favorite spell, it seems, to be Chill Touch, which is, you know, like we've talked about this before. It's a weird spell because it sounds like, yes, indeed, it would be a frost spell, right? That would happen in melee? No! In fact, it is a skeletal hand that appears at range and, like, slaps people. So we've come to call it...
The lich slap.
Yeah, the lich slap. So that's what she's doing. Sorry, my husband really liked that. We're rolling into initiative. We're going to start off. The first creature is going to fail its stealth check. However, it is going to come at, I will say, Lydia. Anyway, just will not be doing so under stealth.
Oh, good. There's some that are stealth. It's good.
I was like, wait, why me? And then I'm like, oh, they hate me.
It's a 22 to hit you, Lydia.
Let me check. Yeah, that hits.
All right, that's 9 necrotic damage.
And
your strength.
We've had a long rest, so
your strength score is reduced by 4.
These are shadows and shades. Oh, fuck.
They're coming for you. The second one does succeed on its stealth check, so it's going to come at you, Kuori.
It was it was 9 points of damage, and then 4 from my strength.
Yes.
How do I do that in D&D?
Just click on your strength score, and you can put override score.
Oh.
Are you using your phone or a laptop or a computer?
Just my phone. Sorry.
Okay.
Override score. So it's 4 less.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Don't let that hit 0.
Goodbye.
It's at 8 now.
Don't get hit.
Don't get hit. 16 to hit Kuori.
Doesn't hit.
Okay. Well, that guy is no longer hidden. There's currently one shadow hanging off of Lydia. Like literally, it's just like a skeletal sailor comes crashing through the bubble and like grabs Lydia and is trying to drag her into the water. It's just got its skeletal hands over her face and is pulling her.
I hate it.
Sorry, not to mean to interrupt the flow of combat, but I have a question.
Yes.
Does the bubble have gravity? Like, can they come in from the top of the bubble and they'll just drop down onto the deck, or
if they weren't like just sort of like floating on their own anyhow, these things are like ghosts. They kind of react to gravity the same way that they do in water.
For us, though, it's like walking like normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Because a 30-foot bubble is not a great use of Lydia's flight.
So we've got one on Lydia, and we've got one that tried to grab Kuori and has revealed itself. A third one is going to come for Hart.
Why?
Because you look tasty.
Oh, thank you.
That's a 21 to hit.
21 does hit.
All right, that's going to be 7 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And your strength is reduced by 3. Kuori, it's your turn. There are 3 shadows revealed.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, your camera froze, so...
Well, obviously, that means that none of they're all gone now.
Yeah, every single one.
It's weird because it's only on Twitch. Like on Zoom, you're not frozen.
Yeah, it's literally just from like our side. So I think during the break, I'll reset Zoom and we'll see what happens. But
okay.
Yeah, it's only because it's only through client side.
And it's only me for some reason.
Yeah, it's only you. I'm going to stab the one on Hart.
Okay.
Let me roll for that. Don't play with my
Lydia,
dice,
you're
cat.
on deck, by the way.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so 1d8. Come on, tiny d8. Oh, nice. 6 plus 3, that's 9 points of piercing damage to the shadow. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to because I believe let me double check that I can do that. Sorry. Again, I also don't mean to bog down.
No concerns.
You can perform somatic spells. No, I cannot do that actually.
Before you decide what you're doing next,
yeah.
Your attack did kill this guy.
Oh, cool. Shit. But I can attack. Yeah, no, I can attack twice now, so I'm gonna attack
quick
the one.
question: is this a magic weapon?
It's my longsword.
Did we ever pick up a magic weapon for you?
No.
All right. We might change that in the coming. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Don't worry about it for now.
There's an entire graveyard of ships below. Once the zombies are gone, perhaps we pilfer and figure something out.
Fair enough. You know what? Yeah, no, I've got you squared. We'll figure this out later.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna use my second attack because I can do that. On Lydia's ghost shadow thing.
All right.
Does a... Don't look at me. I'm doing math. 25 hit.
Yes, a 25 hits.
Okay. Listen. That's cocked. 10 points of damage to that shade.
All right, that one goes down too.
And I will use my action surge to hit the one that's on me.
Okay.
22.
Yep, that does it.
Oh, that's not a lot of damage though. 5.
All right.
Kuori really said hold my ale.
Is that one? Yeah, is that one dead or?
That one's still up.
Okay, okay. It says I can take another action per turn. So does that include my double strike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
full round of attack action.
Okay, so
Exactly.
I got another hit.
If you take an attack action, it's however many is.
Okay,
in your-
okay. What's 12 plus 6?
18.
God,
That one.
that made me panic. I was all like, "Oh fuck!
If it's all right,
Uh,
we can't see the panic on your face because you froze again.
Yeah.
Yay!"
I rolled max damage on that one with my tiny D8. Look how tiny this thing is.
Small.
My tiny D8 is baby. So that's 11 points of damage. Wow, I'm never gonna hit it ever again in this session.
All right.
That's it.
Kuori cleans up after all of these guys. I imagine there's just like a flurry of sword strikes.
Yeah.
And she literally like a few of them she like literally just like grabs and like throws back out into the water. One gets kicked. Like she's just
It's
taking
like
them
that
out.
fighting scene with like Gerald and like the girl, like the first few episodes of
Witcher?
The Witcher,
Witcher?
but it's just one-sided.
Lydia, it's your turn next. As she peels this creature off of you, you like turn around, you look into the water, you can see that there are at least 3 more shadows approaching.
Lydia takes a moment and reaches into her her bag of magical supplies and pulls out this silvery chalk-like powder that almost looks like crushed glass, and uses it to draw a circle on the ground that is 5-foot radius, so 10 feet in diameter. And all of a sudden you see a flash of pure moonlight as she casts Moonbeam at 3rd level. So it is 40 feet high and 10-foot cylinder. I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I step into the moonlight, or would I also have to make the saving throw in order to do so as the caster?
It says creatures in it,
does.
right?
Yeah. It says when a creature enters the spell area for the first time.
Yep.
Okay.
So you would also, yes, you can friendly fire on yourself. That's why when a sorcerer casts fireball centered on themselves, they get exploded. Rest in peace, Typhon.
Yeah, I'll stand slightly outside. I was thinking like I could just like summon it, so if they tried to grab me, they would be but I will stand slightly outside the moonbeam.
Okay. All right. Anything else for you, Lydia?
Let me just check my bonus actions real quick. Cast a spell, so I can't do that.
Now, the way that Moonbeam works, if I remember correctly, it's when you first like put it on top of them, they have to make the save.
Anytime they enter.
Yeah, when you enter it, or if you start your turn.
If you start your turn there. Got it. Okay. Now, that has a range of like 120 feet, right?
Oh, yeah. So I could cast... I think
definitely just put it on top of a shadow out there.
No, I think that Lydia would want it on the boat because they're coming to Lydia. So, like, she's purposely staying as close as she can to the moonbeam to try and, like...
I will say that the whale itself is moving, so that beam is going to go away.
It doesn't move with you,
It stays in place.
It's just paused while we're fighting. Like, but whales.
Yes, it was the random encounter spin out, let us do the thing, and then it'll cut back and we're fine.
Right?
Okay,
it's like,
then
it's like in Destiny 2, we're on the boat, and then like all of the spells stay where they're at.
I will cast it on a creature, but if you don't mind me retconning it to level 2 then, because
that's fine.
Okay. So second level. So I need a constitution save of 15 or higher.
I was gonna say I can't hear numbers. You could have said anything. I don't think a 3 makes it.
It does not, no. So they are going to take 18 points of radiant damage.
Ouch! Okay, it's dead.
Ha!
Goodbye, Shadow. Fuck.
We
Yeah,
said, fuck these shadows.
Yes.
We
That's what
said, bitch, you thought.
A beam of ghost white light cuts through the ice and catches it like a mote of dust, and you can see it begin to incinerate from the inside out, and cracks appear on its skin, and it just disintegrates into dust, shrieking all the while.
Be gone.
Be gone, thought.
Be gone, apparition. And what sort of action does it require to move that thing? Is it a bonus?
I think so.
I believe
Have you used your bonus yet?
it's an action to move the beam. It says on each of your turns after you cast a spell, you can use an action to move the beam up to 60 feet in any direction.
Gotcha. Cool.
So,
all right.
have to do
Now,
that next
technically,
turn.
that would have happened at the beginning of that shadow's turn, but I'm just doing it now, so I don't have to worry about it.
okay. But
Okay.
yes. No, I'm all good.
2 more shadows coming at you. One has managed to hide from Lydia. However, Hart, you're the only one who sees it coming as it comes rushing through the water and grabs at her.
Question: can I use my reaction whenever I want? Or does it have
Depending
to
on
be
what the reaction... depending on what
actually,
triggers
you know
the reaction.
what? Yeah, you know what? It's fine. I am confusion.
Are we talking about opportunity attacks?
Yeah, but I think that's like if something triggers that, right?
Yeah. If it leaves your
Okay.
your space, unless you're a sentinel, which is a feat that allows you to do opportunity attacks when it enters your space.
Okay.
What is that? Your threatened space. That's the
threatened space.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it
I
leaves
totally
your
didn't wake
blood
up
circle.
5 minutes into the game. It's fine.
That's okay. I'm powering my way through it with coffee, which is ill-advised. I don't think a 10's gonna hit you, Lydia.
No.
Even at advantage. That's such a disappointment. Okay.
Not to me, it's not.
A second one is gonna come at you though. This one is not hidden from you, but it's still gonna try and get you. Yeah. A 9 doesn't hit you.
It does not.
Unfortunate. All right, Hart, it is your turn. There are 2 shadows grasping at Lydia.
Hart is... I don't think that... Normally he cries out for Burning Star. But this time, like, without even saying anything, like, Burning Star is just there. Taking Archer form. And as my bonus action for that... that would be an 8, but I'm going to use my Cosmic Omen dice, which was a wheel, to see about... Does a 12 hit a shadow?
It does, just barely.
All right, so then that is going to be for 9 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
And then on the second shadow, that is going to be a first level magic missile. And that is going to be for 8 points of force damage.
All right. Both of them go down, but the first one especially so, as it seems that radiant damage is the secret here. That especially hurts them a lot. At the beginning of the second round, as Angajuk is diving and weaving through the forest of masts and broken ship detritus, all the flotsam and jetsam at the bottom of the sea of moving ice, you can see more shadows beginning to crawl their way out of these wreckages. And in particular, there is one that is walking along the seafloor, just this long, ghostly white hair floating in the water. this nightgown just sort of also sort of moving about like a miasma. We're getting rated by LB.
LB, thank you. Wings, you're frozen again.
I know. We're gonna fix it on the break. Don't worry about it. I want to say, anybody with a Arcana or a religion higher than like a passive, if you add a 10 to your modifier, if it's higher than 4, you can tell what this is. Do we have anybody with an Arcana or religion higher than 4?
I have plus 6 to Arcana.
Plus 7 to Arcana.
All right, Kuori and Lydia, there is a chill that goes through your blood as you see this thing, as you recognize it as a banshee.
It's time to go.
And it looks up at you as the shadow of the whale just sort of like casts over it, and you can see it looking at you and locking eyes with you with this deep sunken glare and these pinpoints of red, and its lip begins to curl. Top of the round. A very much unhidden shadow is going to claw at Kuori.
Ah.
A 12 probably doesn't hit you.
It does not.
All right, Kuori, it's your turn. You can see that there are more shadows beginning to close in on you. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shadows and a banshee to contend with.
Well... No.
I can only do so much. Well, okay, okay. So I'm going to do something. Are they all in like relatively within the same area?
They are like basically like
Clustered.
like kind of down and back. I wouldn't say they're clustered necessarily. I'd say that they're advancing on you from all sides, essentially. But mostly from the back of the whale as they are chasing after it.
Yeah, I'm asking because I have Shatter.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 10-foot radius. So it'd be 20 feet. Like, I don't know if I can grab multiple of them if I use that spell. Or if I...
Does Shatter... harm other creatures within its radius? Is it creatures?
Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point.
Gotcha.
So I would pick a point within 60 feet of me.
Oh, yeah, okay. I would say that you could wait until, say, just before Hart's turn. And pop the shadow off then, and you'd be able to get every shadow that advanced on you from that point.
Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna hold my attack for that.
Is there anything else you wanted to do on your turn?
No, you just kind of see her, the white on her tattoo start glowing and crackling again, but there's like a sense of sparks. As I'm going to say now, but just so it's done, technically my turn, that she's going to use a transmute from her sorcery points. And you see like little stars sparking off of the electricity because she's going to turn it from thunder to lightning damage. And the stars are not unlike the stars that Skyfire uses.
All right. So that's Kuori. What's going on?
Oh, I just said that's me.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were trying to tell me something.
No.
All right. So that's Kuori. Lydia, it's your turn.
So Lydia would like to move the moonbeam. Is there an availability for me to just pop it right on that banshee?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say you can move it up to 30 feet, right?
60 feet.
60 feet? Oh, yeah. You can definitely just spotlight her.
I think that's Lydia will use her action to channel the Raven Queen and move that moonbeam directly over the Banshee, for which I need a Constitution saving throw from them.
All right. We will resolve that on the Banshee's turn. Just remind me when we get there, okay?
Yes. And then I think that Lydia will use her bonus action because she just likes the mobility of it. You will see her fur coat quickly change into 2 black raven wings as she will just float about 10 feet above the deck. But just so that because it's a bonus action for me to activate that. So for the next minute, Lydia is flying.
Nice.
I got my wings out.
All right. After Lydia's turn, there are 2 more shadows advancing. There is one that is very much not hidden. It's going to try and grab at Hart. A 15 to hit you.
Yeah, that'll do her.
All right, that's going to be 13 necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by 1.
Oh, that's not so bad.
As the second one advances, this is going to be the first one. Like these, there are 3 shadows within in range now, Kuori. If you'd like to go ahead and
Yeah. So she'll cast Shatter and then on those 3, and it is, instead of like the rumbling thunder that usually comes from it, like there's a like bright white blue center at first that then sparks in like a bubble. Yeah. And then you see kind of like a trail of galaxy and star come after the lightning burst as it hits those 3 shades. And I'm gonna need Constitution saving throws, I believe.
I got a 15, a 5, and a 21.
2 succeed, and they take half damage, and 1 fails.
Okay. Let's see damage for that then.
That's 3d8. Let me. I only have 2 right now in hand. So, 4, 5, 6, 7. 14.
Nice. All right. One of them goes down.
Okay.
And the remaining 2 recoil as lightning begins to just sort of like move through their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that tinkling sound of the stars just sort of moving about.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one that was hidden is going to try and grab at Lydia from the top of the boat. Just sort of reaching down through the bubble.
Question. Sorry. Because I just realized, did Lydia's strength score go down by 1 or by 4 the first time?
4.
4.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Lydia, does a 21 hit you?
It does?
10 necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by 2.
Ow!
Okay, Hart, it's your turn. There is a shadow, a banshee, and another shadow.
Okay.
And another shadow.
So
3 shadows and a banshee walk into a bar.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Hart will. There's one that's directly on him.
Yes.
Brat, Hercules Mulligan at it again.
Okay.
That's another level 1 magic missile all towards that guy for 11 points of force damage.
Oh, damn. All right, dead.
And then the one that's on Lydia, he is going to try and strike out with his archer form that's 14 to hit.
A 14's gonna hit.
For max 11 points of radiant damage.
Dead. There is 1 remaining shadow and a banshee. Speaking of, we've come up on the banshee's turn. Let's go ahead and resolve that moonbeam.
Constitution saving throw, please.
And that's what she's here for. I don't think an 8's gonna make it.
It's not. Do-do-do. 12 points of radiant damage
Okay.
on the moonbeam.
All right. Her face is just tracking the whale as it moves, and that moonbeam like just lights her up with like a stark, like a spotlight, just boom. And she twitches a little, and there's like a slight sizzle, and bubbles begin to kind of like find nucleation points across her skin and rise away from her as steam begins to kind of build in this undersea place. But if that harmed her, she does not react as such. And she begins to open her mouth, and it opens further and further and further, much larger than any human should be able to gape their jaw, and she is going to wail.
Wail at the
only
whale.
One whale. I don't think Hart's a fan of this type of whale either.
No. That's why Burning Star is here, though. Otherwise, Hart would have passed out.
True.
It's fine.
And as she does so, she just lifts off from the ground and begins to spin towards you, shrieking the whole way, like a screaming dragon. And when I say screaming dragon, I don't mean in the Dungeons and Dragons sense. I mean in the like fireworks sense. Can I get Constitution saving throws from everybody?
Just as a point of reference, does the Banshee seem to be interested in like the whole vessel, the whale Angajuk as a whole, or much like the shadows seem to be a little bit focused on moi?
I mean, Lydia, from your perspective, she's definitely making eye contact with you.
Long eye contact. Dun, dun, dun,
Lock
dun.
eyes from across the room.
Can't make eye contact with a female presenting monster or human. By panic. Oh, what's my constitution?
There's like definitely like the Doppler effect as the scream like goes towards the camera and away from it. The burbling of bubbles as she moves rapidly through the water like a fucking torpedo.
17? 17?
17's good.
12. I rolled a 6 plus 6.
Hey, guess what? Cosmic Omen. Add a d6 to that.
Oh, cool.
I got a modified 20.
Good old dirty.
14.
14 was the right answer.
Okay. I rolled a 2 on my d6.
Hart saved your bacon.
Art saves the day yet again.
Kuori, there's something about this scream that makes your breath hitch in your chest, and you can feel your knees beginning to just like fall out from underneath you. And what does it look like when Hart basically saves this con save for Kuori?
It is part of a cosmic omen. And I like to think that so Kuori like used meta magic and has like shown that there have been these like strange meta magic qualities ever since like her and Burning Star came into contact at one point, and like
diplomacy
and a little bit of his star stuff got into Kuori. So I think that it's like as Kuori has this effect happening to her, and like Lydia like shakes it off, and Burning Star like as it is trying to hit it, it just like outglows that. Like it just like rejects it as a principle entirely. That like Kuori, you feel this coming on to you as well, but then it's almost like a ripple effect, like that same kind of like glow burst that comes from Burning Star just sort of like washes over you as well. And like you shouldn't have succeeded your own con save, but like that dude over there succeeded his, so I guess it's okay now. Like seems like that seems like a conversation for a different time. But.
Yeah.
Your knees begin to buckle underneath you. The light begins to fade at the corners of your vision, and then like a wave comes at you from Hart, and suddenly it clears all of that up, like you've just taken a hit of smelling salts.
I'd like to think that the black comes into the edges of our visions, but then kind of stars start to sparkle and pull it back.
Yes, I love that. All right, okay, so that happens. and the banshee is wailing, coming directly towards you. Everybody go ahead and take 14 psychic damage. This is
Ouchie.
this is a not fun experience as she rips through your ears and directly into your brains.
Ow.
We come to the end of this round, and you can see more shadows beginning to accumulate and come towards you. You can see that Valin and the kobolds are similarly getting worn down. Several kobolds, after hearing the banshee shriek, have immediately just hit the ground, completely passed out. And Valin is beginning to really beginning to sweat. You can see the shaking in her hands beginning to become more prevalent, and I want to say that the banshee actually even reaches up and grabs onto Angajuk's fin, and literally you can feel the ripple through the entire whale's body. It just travels up its spine, and there's an audible response from the whale, as it does not enjoy that at all. You can even see dark veins beginning to spread from that part on Angajuk's fin. Things are beginning to look dire, when suddenly there is a cracking sound from off behind you somewhere, and you look down. The banshee looks in the direction of that sound, and she takes a cannonball to the gut, and then just goes spiraling away into the water. You turn around, you look, and you can see a dark ship coming towards you out of the murk and the fog. Its black tattered sails are billowing in the current, catching it like the wind. Its belly, the hull of the ship is dark wood that has spilled open. You can see Chardolin trailing from its guts, and aboard the hull of the ship you can see a crowd of pirates waving their scimitars and cheering a shanty on their lips, and at the head you can see is the captain, and at his side is Wesloy, and he says, "Go on, get out of here, we'll hold them off!" And you can hear the crack of cannon fire as it begins to turn broadside and hold off the shadows in the undersea, and Angajuk makes its escape. And I think that's where we should go on break.
I can't wait to tell Greybeard about this. I am super excited. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go to a place unless it's grab food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. And we're back. The dread pirate Wesloy has saved us once again. Danae, take us away.
To the rescue! As you go swimming through the murk, the pirate ship, the Dark Duchess, lose visual on it, and also the shadowy undead that it is in combat with. However, you do see the bright points of light off in the fog, as the cannons continue to fire upon them. As you go further and further, that sound begins to fade, and you draw closer to the island. Angajuk slows down somewhat from its fevered pace, and Valin Harpel moves about, waking her kobolds. It seems that they were hurt, but not killed, and the Banshee's wail reduced them to 0 hit points, but did not outright kill them. As it is known to do, it just kind of made them faint, which would have been bad in a fight, but you were able to get out of there fairly quickly.
I was going to say that Lydia would have probably cast Aura of Vitality, which means every bonus action I can heal 2d6 worth of hit points.
Certainly.
So I would have used that to cycle through the kobolds, bring them back up to full, essentially. I assume they don't have a ton of hit points.
Nah, you could definitely do that. I'm willing to allow that. If you're willing to blow a spell slot on that, I'm totally willing to let you bring them all back up to full hit points.
I am. Because depending on how long we have until we get to because Aura of Vitality lasts for 1 minute. So theoretically, I would get 10 rounds of healing. With that, since it's a 3rd level spell, could I heal each of us once? And then the 5 kobolds, and we'll negate the last 2?
Certainly.
Okay, cool. Hart, you gain back 11 hit points. Kuori, 7. Sorry, not as good. And me, 7.
Thank you.
Which is not nearly enough, but I'll take it.
All right.
Okay, mark that off. Cool. You may continue. Sorry.
That's fine. As you move through the water, Valin kind of takes a deep, steadying breath, and she says, "It won't be long now."
Should we rest? Are we gonna? Is there, Valin? Will there be a safe place for us to rest before going onto the island, or?
I don't know what we'll find when we get to the surface.
Yay. Should we?
My first priority is going to be finding the professor's orb.
Right. I'm just saying that I think that, at least for myself, I am feeling very run down. And I think that anything we encounter on the island would be best at literal full strength.
I see. Well, let's see what we're dealing with. Certainly if we can find some shelter.
Worst case, I can make us shelter. I have my hut, which Valin would be familiar with now because Lydia's been casting it each night.
Mm-hmm.
Tight squeeze with all of us, but it would work in a pinch, and maybe have the kobolds stand guard.
She nods. And the light is beginning to grow as you near the surface. And Angajuk informs you that they will drop you off and circle the island for as long as you need, so long as it isn't too long. However, Angajuk does not like to stay surfaced very long around this island, just on account of the fact that Auril's rock does not like Angajuk at all.
Angajuk, if you'd like, I have the ability to send messages. So if you need to venture a little farther away from the island for your safety and your comfort, then I can send you a message no matter how far you go, as long as you promise you'll come get us.
Anga had such magics as well. I will wait for your call.
Thank you.
Sploosh. You rise to the surface. You find yourselves at what appears to be a dock. And this dock is actually quite large, quite tall. You surface right next to it, and in a normal boat, you would be able to just step down off of the water onto the surface of the dock, like probably using a gangplank, but it actually is like several feet above your heads, and quite a bit too wide. And you come to realize that this dock was actually built for giants.
A lot of giant architecture in the area.
Yes, I'm assuming this is where. Didn't Ting Young tell us is that giants used to live around this area before it became the Sea of Ice?
I believe so. Still, it's rather intimidating to look at, especially for me.
It feels nice being the smaller one with the architecture, I'm not going to lie. Everything's usually too small for me.
Yes. No, I can understand that. It's just very large for me.
I understand. But the ruins, there should not be any more giants, I do not believe.
At least giants we could try and reason with. I don't know how many more banshees or shadows or non-communicative creatures I could really deal with.
The docks are so tall that you have to climb to get on top of them. But with your climbing gear, you are able to do so without too much difficulty. You take some time to lift the entire party up there, including Valin and the kobolds. At the back of the dock, there are giant-sized steps that climb into these enormous cliffs. Looking at the rest of the island, it seems that there are branches of land, peninsulas that sort of spiral off of this central tall peak of ice in the center of the island. Looking about, it is surrounded by this fog, and it is difficult to see much farther than 200 feet.
How are you feeling, Kuori? I know that this place is a bit of a odd subject for you.
Can you repeat that?
How are you feeling? Are you doing okay? Like, I know this place is a bit of a sore subject.
And I'm alright, you know. I feel like it's more of a sore subject for you. Well, I guess the sea is. I guess this is my source. You know, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I
Fine.
just wanted to check in. I know that's a lot. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
In a mountainous place such as this, you would be used to hearing the whistling and wailing of wind, but this place is eerily still, and the air is stagnant, like frozen. It is absolutely frigidly cold, more so than any place in Icewind Dale. Usually wind chill is something that you have to be worried about, but the chill just comes directly from the air. You feel it's going to be dangerous to linger here for too long.
Or will start making their way, helping guide their way towards the center of the island, because that's where we know that the tower is, correct?
Say again?
We're on the island, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Kuori will start trying to guide them towards the center of the island where the tower is.
Okay. You move
Very
to
carefully.
the end of the docks, find these large stairs. You do kind of have to, like, they're at about like waist height, so like you kind of have to like kip up and pull yourself up these stairs. It is more of a climb than it is a stroll. And when you come to the top of the stairs, there is a outcropping of ice just sort of jetting up directly from the middle of the stairs. As you approach it, it actually moves and kind of skitters back a little bit. And you find that it is actually like a little bit shorter than Lydia, a humanoid form made completely out of ice. You would recognize this as an ice mephit. And it kind of moves as though surprised to see you, but then it just sort of stands and
Prolonged eye contact.
yeah, prolonged eye contact. It stands, kind of like looks at you, Kuori, up and down, and then it just sort of bends at the waist and bows a little bit, and then stands straight back up.
Kuori will give a small bow of her head.
It opens its mouth and it speaks in a language that sounds like clattering ice. And whistling wind.
Kuori, do you speak winter?
No, I speak primordial though.
You speak primordial.
Yeah.
I think that's enough to recognize what it's what it's saying.
It's kind of like I personally know Spanish and I can kind of get the gist of a Portuguese or Italian conversation.
Exactly. Primordial is an elemental language, from what I am from what I can gather.
Yeah.
Like I would say that Aquin, Orin, all of
They're all based in primordial.
exactly, they're all based in that. So you're able to put together what it is saying, though it does kind of speak with a very strong accent. It says, "Hello there. My name is Sapo."
Hello, Sapo. She says back in primordial.
This place has become terribly boring.
Boring, you say? Well, what do you think will bring excitement back into this place?
You, hopefully.
Me?
Oh, just the figurative you. Would you like a guide? And he literally
insight check on this fucking ice snippet.
He literally does smile at you, and he's got these dagger sharp icicle teeth as he does so.
I don't think I have good insight. 12.
12. Okay. What a fun guy.
He's a mushroom?
We left us in the Underdark.
He seems bored enough to want to try and help you out. In fact, he actually, like, as you are coming up the stairs, he'll say, "Watch your step." And just before you like put your foot down, you see that there is actually a bit of thin ice, where like that stair had been, like it had like melted and then like refroze. And like when you bring your foot down gingerly on it, you can see it like crack underneath your feet. And it definitely would have like made you trip.
Okay. Kuori's kind of translating as best as she could to Lydia and Hart. He says he might want to help us with as our guide to this place. He says he's bored.
Lydia will just, hello.
He smiles at you, and like gives you a little bow. And as he does so, you can see his wings go like these little bat wings pop out of his back, with a little like tinkling sound.
Hart is still in burning star form. He has not dropped it.
Hart, no.
No, he never dropped it, like from combat, like because it lasts 3 hours now. Per usage.
Okay,
like
shit.
He's just like, there were fucking like ghosts in the water. That's chasing him, and then we went to Auril's island. But the entire time I feel that they've been traveling, Burning Star has not necessarily been looking at the ground or looking at the group. He has been looking like towards the dead center of the island.
What you looking at, Burning Star?
I don't think he's going to answer you. But this is Zappo.
Just out of curiosity, if I tried to telepathically listen in on Burning Star right now, what do I hear?
It's just base level?
Yeah, just your base level thoughts. If that's even in a language I can interpret.
I have an idea for this one.
Proceed.
It is not a phrase. It is not a sentence. It is an emotion. And that emotion is a mixture of anger, longing, and determination.
Interesting.
This is not good.
I'm tired of this group saying, well, you didn't ask, so now I'm just trying everything.
Nah, I'm just straight up reading your mind.
Listen, I got a thing to do it. I haven't tried to communicate with Burning Star telepathically, so I was like, I wonder what's going to happen. Interesting. I think Lydia will just try. There's been so many times where in the middle of a tense situation or when things seem to look the grimmest that Lydia will reach out and just kind of squeeze Hart's hand. I think she'll try to do the same with Burning Star and just like reach out and like in a reassuring type of way, just like do a little hand squeeze.
I would say that there is no response back. There is no like squeeze back in that sense. But instead, Burning Star feels like you've tried to hold his hand before, and it's felt cold. In this environment, it feels like it almost feels normal. Like if he wasn't so cold, it would be warm. Like, but it is more like if you in regular temperature are holding on to someone else's hand, like how it's like, oh, that's a nice, comfortable warm. Like it's that same thing when normally you know it is ice cold and it still feels cold, but like the temperature differential.
It's a pleasant cold.
Interesting.
I would also say he's probably the only one who's like not steaming right now, just because again, like warm bodies in frigid ass temperature.
So Zappo. Here's the thing. I would like to take your offer as a guide, but the thing is that if you try to fuck us over, I will kill you. Very violently.
Good to know.
With fire.
Sounds like it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Like you. Cool. See, we're trying to get to the tower.
The tower? This road will take you to the tower.
All right.
Valen will step forward. Well, wait a second. Let's find out what we're dealing with here. She points at Sapo and says, did a girl come here? Round glasses, carrying a book and a sphere? And he goes,
There was a shipwreck not long ago. The last ship to visit the island. It crashed off the coast of the northwest arm.
and he like points kind of directly in the direction of the spire in the middle, and he just kind of like gestures like a curve, like, you know, sort of like around that,
behind that one. There was one survivor that managed to pull herself out of the frigid water and climb on top of the island, but she died before getting any further.
And Valen just sort of nods. That's where we need to go.
Around the tower.
She nods. I'm not interested in dealing with Auril until I have access to my orb.
All right. Zappo, could you please guide us to that location?
Yes, I can do that. Is there anything else you want to see? There are shipwrecks full of loot just waiting to be claimed.
I would like some of that, yes, please.
There are Yeti caves.
I don't want to deal with Yetis.
Are you sure? There's an abominable Yeti named Korgra that lives among them.
I know how to say hi in Yeti, but that's about as far as I can go.
I'm sure that'll go well.
No, it won't. Let's go see the shipwrecks. I want loot. That's more Satan than Kuori. She's like, let's go shoot the shipwrecks. I think I need to pick up a few things.
Okay. You see his wings like come out of his back, and he
I think that
flies onto Kuori's shoulder, and he's like,
I can show you many shipwrecks.
I think that the next time that he like unfurls his wings, Lydia will do the same and just kind of float up and fly next to him.
He startles a little bit and like scrambles to Kuori's other shoulder.
It's okay. It's okay, Sabo.
As he does so, you're standing next to Valen, and like Valen has her owl on her shoulder, and as he moves quickly to the shoulder, like because like the owl is on Valen's shoulder here, and he moves to the shoulder that's closer to the owl. The owl shrieks and like raises its wings at him, and he scrambles back to the other shoulder again.
Sorry about that. She's less...
The owl just sort of settles and glares at him, and he like...
Calm down now. Okay. Calm down, the two of you. Okay, listen. Zappo. I'm looking for a bit of a weapon upgrade. I know this isn't the convenient place to do it, but it seems like there's a lot of loot here that could help me. So, maybe a shipwreck that might have some swords or something like that.
I might be able to find something like that.
I wonder if we'll find another gun.
No, Lydia.
I do really good with the one that you gave me. And she'll like take it out and she'll just be like, I do great with this.
You put that back. You do not wave it around.
The image froze again on my end.
For whom?
For you, obviously.
For me?
No one else.
Why? I'm upset. Zoom, I have problems. Oh, maybe I need to update my Zoom.
Zoom lady.
Zoom lady. Janet, why? I'm not going to worry too much about it for tonight. I'll get it fixed before tomorrow.
Not a robot.
Hopefully. Not a robot.
Not a lady. I'm going to give Zappo like a few bits of my ration.
He like takes it and just kind of turns it over in his hands.
Food?
I do not need food.
Oh, okay. Just fucking eats it herself. Just pats his head. Is that okay, or is that like not good? Like, is that insulting?
Do as you please.
Well, does it make you uncomfortable? I don't want to do something that makes you uncomfortable. Can I pat your head?
He kind of turns his head like he doesn't understand.
Just gonna pat his head.
He lets you.
Okay. Lead the ways up.
You walk a certain distance, and like you come to a turning point on this giant road. It is made with these cut stones that are like about the size, like each stone is about the size of a human body. You come to a turn in the road, and he points off. It curves to the left, and he points off to the right, and he says,
"This road leads to Grimskull, the Frostmaiden's fortress."
Grimskull?
Grimskull.
Skull, okay. Okay. I'm not ready for that yet. Let's go see some ships.
Lydia will just kind of take a moment and just be like, Valen, I know that you're very focused on getting your professor orb, but we need to make this detour. Fighting those shadows in the Banshee, I realize that we're not as well equipped as we would like to be. So we'll be as quick as we can, but I don't think that it'll be a poor decision to go and try and make sure that we have the best equipment we can. If there's treasure in those shipwrecks, we'll happily split it with you, but it's very important that we do this. I know that you're in a rush, but it's important.
She sort of crosses her arms and waves you off, and she says, I think needing and wanting are two different things.
True. That could be said for your professor orb as well.
She like glares at you for a second, and but concedes. But you do feel kind of a prickliness in the air at being challenged and bested to some degree.
Valin will remember this.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
She started, so hey.
Like soft little oohs from the kobolds.
You guys,
Trout.
can it, Trout? Can it?
Can it, Trout? Oh,
Can
God.
trout.
Amazing. Okay. Oh, let me just roll a dice real quick. Okay. Sapo leads you away. I need everybody to go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, as the air is frigid here and it is very difficult to travel
If I'm
through.
resistant to cold.
I'll give you an advantage on that.
Okay.
It's a saving throw, so if you have bonuses to your con.
I do.
Okay,
Natural
cool.
20.
That's pretty
Oh,
good.
hell yeah.
19.
Okay.
Oh, I keep forgetting about my gosh dang it new armor. Someone remind me. 10.
All right, Lydia, you take a point of exhaustion.
Love that for me. I'm already down, 6 strength. Might as well just throw in a point of exhaustion.
Go ahead and
Oh,
roll for Valin as well.
Sure.
She makes her.
Lydia, Kuori will offer for Lydia to ride on the little stool backpack thing.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Right next to Sapo.
And it is just the oppressiveness of the cold. It kind of takes your breath away. It's the kind of cold that burns your lungs when you breathe.
That
hate
for
it.
me.
Sapo leads you down the arm nearest to you. You had went up one arm of the snowflake shape of this island, and he's leading you down the next one. And looking down the cliff sides, you can see just like skeletons pointing up out of the ice. There are multitudes of shipwrecks. And he basically kind of gestures to them and says,
Take your pick.
Does any one of them look particularly more intact than the others?
sure. Give me a perception check.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself as well, actually. I've done that for a while. So. Oh, that's not bad. You said perception?
Yes.
22.
22. All right. That's pretty darn good. Yeah, you do find a ship sort of sticking up out of the water. You can see that there is a very clear hole that's been torn into the side of it. But for the most part, the whole thing is kind of held together. There's a very clear bends and breaks in the surface of it, but it seems to have held together, and most of it is above the water.
We should check out this one, I think, Kuori.
Yes, I'm not going to try and risk our own lives for some loot, so that seems best. Let's go.
All right.
Well, is Burning Star coming with us, or begrudgingly still staring at the center?
It is begrudgingly still staring at the center. You guys move off, and I imagine he just stands there. Then one of you has to come back and pull him with, but his vision, his focus never shifts. So even as you're moving away, he's head has just turned and is following that place.
Y'all,
right.
I'm scared.
Everyone give me some athletics or acrobatics checks to pick your way down the cliffside to get to the shipwreck.
Oh no. I can use acrobatics because that's dex.
At the top of the cliff, Valin kind of rubs her hands together in the gloves, and she says, "I'll wait for you all up here."
That seems fair.
She stamps her feet in the snow, trying to warm them up.
13.
Um, what did I roll?
I don't know. But I got 17.
Okay.
I think it was a 12.
Oh, okay.
No.
Why are
it
we so
was-
unsure?
I'm trying to figure out which dice was the one I roll.
Oh, I see.
No, I rolled a 9 plus 6. That's 15. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. As you're picking your way down the cliffside, Lydia is actually in Kuori's backpack, right?
Yeah, on the little
Mhm.
back stool, technically.
Okay. As you are picking your way down the cliffside, Kuori, at some point, one of the footholds underneath your feet gives way, just completely cracks off the side of the cliff, and you actually slide a good like 10-15 feet, just kind of digging your hands into the sides of the cliff. You're like feet searching for purchase, and like you manage to stop. And like there's the sound of rocks and ice just sort of clattering down the cliff, and you can hear
It's okay. One of my hands is already frostbitten. I don't care.
and then you continue making your way down. The rest of it is pretty much uneventful. You make your way out across this sheet of ice that leads pretty much directly up to the hold of the ship.
Mhm.
Looking down, you can actually see a few shapes moving about underneath the water. It's kind of hard to tell from here. They're pretty deep below the ice, but the ship is partially submerged in the water, and you can see one of the shapes like swim through a hole in the hold and then come back out.
So does it seem more like fish aquatic life like, or like the shades that we just fought?
Aquatic life for sure.
Okay.
It's got that kind of like fishy, like side to side movement to it, but it is large.
Okay. Let's go carefully and stay out of the water. It's very cold.
I don't particularly have any desire to be in that water.
I know. Come on.
Lydia will just kind of like hold on to Corey's back, just like a little bit tighter. Like normally she's just like comfortable. Like there's like two little straps that she can hold on to as part of the thing, but she's actually like draped her arms around Corey's shoulders.
Corey kind of pats her hands that are around her neck, and with another hand kind of holds Hart's hand to have him follow and not leave him behind, and will carefully make her way into the hull of the ship.
All right. You're able to find I want to say that there's like one big long drag across like the bottom of it, presumably where it had like run up against some ice on its approach to the island. So like that big long crack is partially like up on land and partially submerged, and that's where you can see those shapes going in and out. You make your way into the ship, and looking around, it's quite dark in here, though I believe Lydia can just touch you and give you some dark vision.
This is correct, and I will do just that. It lasts for 8 hours. So I would say that because they are the only ones that need the dark vision, that Lydia pretty much like when we wake up just goes like, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Yep.
So it's become quite standard and like part of our ritual type deal. And
Like
she'll also, as she's doing that, she'll also like tap Burning Star and give Vigilance Blessing. So if next time we do roll initiative, Hart/Burning Star has advantage.
And it is almost instantaneous. Just like boing, and you look around. This ship is utterly stuffed to the gills. Like everything's kind of coated in a thick rime of frost. However, you do see
Rime of the Frostmaiden.
indeed. I mean, like that's literally what it's based off
That's
of.
We
it,
did it, guys.
We did it. We won
said
the game.
Title. Yeah,
We said the title.
We fucking got there. Good game, everybody. Level 20 all around.
Never mind. There are crates. There are all sorts of provisions. You can see dried jerky and such. You can also see a very conspicuous giant-sized chest. It seems like somebody had found some giant treasure and was trying to squirrel it away home when they ran afoul of the Isle of Solstice.
Kuori's gonna go towards the chest and say, "It's not really stealing if I'm like half giant, right?"
It's
like
We're
reclaim
half
me.
stealing.
it's a little bit closer to some stagnant water on the inside of the ship. However, there's a lot of slushy ice just kind of on the surface of it. You approach and you click, open up this chest, and the frost comes sloughing off of it. You see inside there is 2,500 gold pieces and 5,000 silver pieces.
Kuori's just gonna drop Lydia into the chest.
Lydia just starts counting.
It's just Scrooge McDuck style.
Yeah.
What is Burning Star doing down here?
Honestly, probably not a whole lot. Like, if anything, like he would be standing at the entryway at the deck and just still like looking up towards the island.
That's fair.
Kuori, sort of looking around on the inside
Yeah.
of this deck, you can see actually like hung to the wall is a fairly large looking sword. It would probably be about short sword sized for a giant, but when you approach it, it's closer to a great sword.
Okay. She'll kind of like pick it up. It's something that she has to wield with two hands.
Is it preferable for you not to?
Yes, because I have a shield and it gives me a +2 AC.
I see. We'll go ahead and rule this as a longsword.
Okay.
But like this is like a cloud strafe style,
Yeah.
like comically large blade on you.
Yeah. It's because I'm half giant, I can wield it with one hand. It's fine.
And like when you pick it up, it kind of has like a sheen to it, sort of like a Damascus steel style,
Ooh.
like sort of two piebald color that goes down the blade. And at the center of it, there are runes in giant, just kind of going up to the crossguard.
Do I know what the runes say?
Yes, it seems to be just like various runes that are put together.
Okay.
One, like I actually have pictures of giant runes that I can send you
So
later.
is it more like it's not really like a saying? It's more like runes for like a magic sort of.
They're to invoke magic, but they're really more of. The meaning of the runes themselves is kind of negligible so far as like in giant words have power.
Okay.
What they mean is less important, and like the fact that you have them is more important.
Okay.
Like in giant, like being able to read, being able to write, like that had power.
Okay.
It was like representative of like your class.
Okay.
So having words on a sword like was like very symbolic.
Okay. So she'll kind of like reach up and kind of take the sword and like look it over. Not me knowing what Damascus steel is because I watched smithing videos.
One is the rune for life, one is the rune for dragon. Like you're just kind of like looking at it, turning it over in your hand, reading each one of these runes, probably even like tracing them with your finger. When there is the sound of slopping and crashing ice, and you look up in time to see a pair of razor-sharp jaws coming directly at you as a giant shark jumps out of the water towards you. 16?
No.
You jump back, and it flops onto the wood of this hold, and it begins to slide back into the water. Its teeth still gnashing. This thing is huge-sized.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
You can hear from the opening of the hold. Sapo is there going, heh, 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 heh.
If you let us do this on purpose up, I'm going to hurt you.
There are many dangers on this island.
As long as it wasn't on purpose. Swing. Is it attacking us, or is it just a one-time thing?
I mean, like, it can be a one-time thing if you get out of there, but, like, it does seem to be circling back around for another snap.
Yeah. I'm like, Lydia, did you get that money in the bag of holding?
I've got the money. Do you see any more guns?
No. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Life opens many doors, that boy. I had to say it out loud. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm not about to reenact Jaws. I'm not about to reenact it. There's a film, a book actually called Jaws. I do not want to reenact it.
Oh, that's the one where.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
And then Lydia looks down at her gun and like looks at the fin that's like circling and just goes,
"Oh,
I'm gonna need a bigger gun." Just as they leave the boat.
This sword is a +2 long sword.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Okay. +2 long sword. Okay. Oh my god.
You make your way out of there. You are kind of quickly like moving back up the ice to the cliffside, and Lydia, you keep on looking back and seeing those shark fins beginning to like press up between the cracks in the ice, as they have been tempted by your approach, and they are steadily watching you make your way back across the ice, probably hoping for someone to trip.
I think that Lydia has like herself strapped in. She like tightens the straps, and normally she is so that like her chest is against Kuori's back, but she like spins around and is just got her gun out pointed at the fins as Kuori.
Oh no, what like a backpack with a gun pointing at.
Yep. Kuori, give me an athletics check as you climb back up.
Oh no.
I'll give you guidance as well. So you
Okay.
know before.
Okay, that was cocked for a second. Okay, that's not horrible. I'll do a D.
Burning Star's gonna need to give me a check as well.
What am I rolling?
It's an athletics check.
Okay. Sorry, I just had a brain blast new merch idea, which is like, so you know how people would have like the Baby Yoda t-shirts that have like the fucking thingy on the front? What if we also had Baby Yoda t-shirts, but it's Lydia holding the pistol out?
Yes.
That was the brain blast moment. Anyway, athletics, you say. To shreds, you say. That's an 8 for acrobatics.
Will be my Mandalorian.
An 8, eh?
Oh, God.
To shreds, you say.
Oh yeah.
I got an 18.
18. All right, Kuori, you are climbing your way up. When you hear a fairly like I can't say Burning Star is capable of panic. The sound of scraping, and you turn around, you see Burning Star is like very slowly just like moving down the cliffside directly toward the water.
Would she be able to like reach out and grab?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Dexterity or
give me an athletics check at disadvantage because now you have to contend with 2 party members.
Sorry.
It's okay. One's a natural 20, unfortunately, but the other one's a 6. But I did I do have plus 12. Does guidance still is it just for one roll? Is it for like a minute?
It's for one roll.
It's just for the one roll. You get to a 12.
Hey, guess what? Cosmic Omen. I'm going to use my last one. Roll that d6.
Yeah, baby. Oh, 6.
So that makes it
18.
an 18.
That pops you up to an 18.
Yeah.
All right. So you reach out to grab Hart, and as you do so, just like the momentum of reaching for him pulls your hand off of the wall, and the world kind of goes into slow motion for a moment, that like gut feeling of about to fall, and you swing wildly back at the ice wall, and like I want to say like literally just punch one fist into the wall and like create like a divot, like you make your own handhold, like, and like there's like a cracking sound that kind of like permeates throughout this entire cliff face, and like during this entire encounter, you can hear a soft chortling coming from Sapo, and like that fist hits the wall and it goes heh heh heh, and there's like silence and crackling, and the soft lapping of water against the waves.
It's just a glare from Kuori to Zappo, like grabbing the handhold that she just made and lifts up Hart and like starts climbing with like basically almost just one hand.
She makes her way back up, and Valin is now seated like on like some like equipment that one of her kobolds was carrying, and like she's got her book back out and she doesn't even look up at you. You can just see the side of her face that is concealed, with the eye concealed by an eye patch. She doesn't even look up and she says, "Did you find what you were looking for?"
Yes, something that will help protect us more.
She snaps her book shut and stands.
Now let's go find your orb.
She nods, and turns to walk away. I'm looking at time here.
I will say that once they are back on the surface, Lydia's main goal is going to be finding a place where it's safe to at least set up the tiny hut, because Lydia is running at 6 total strength right now.
Mm-hmm.
And ouchie, ouch, I'm sore. I need some sleeps. I'm exhausted. I'm at like half hit points. I've used a lot of spells. Baby needs rest.
All right. Okay. You go ahead and
I'd probably ask our new buddy who's been, oh no, I would not ask our new buddy. Our new buddy has not been leading us to good places. Never mind.
Hey, you found your thing.
Yeah, well, Sapo has been mean.
He's been enjoying the show at the very least.
I didn't even get a bigger gun.
Give me a survival check.
I can do that. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Survival. 19 total.
19. All right. Yeah, you're able to find a fairly good place to hunker down. You kind of get the idea that the farther you are from the spire, the safer it's going to be. So you sort of look along the coastline for a place that's not going to be like, so close to the cliff sides that you go falling into the ocean. But like you basically like get to a place where you have no like direct line of sight to the spire itself, or Grimskull, or any of the more mountainous areas of the island. You begin to settle down. The kobolds begin to unpack so that they can set up camp. Lydia gets ready to cast her ritual. I want to say that it has been the better part of the day, just making your way to the island. It's still the 3rd day of travel. And the sun is beginning to get low. It's starting to get darker. when suddenly you hear this sort of halting, guttural screech come from up on Grimskull. You look up and you see the silhouette of an enormous bird beginning to spread its wings, and a enormous creature climbing up onto its back. And it turns briefly for a moment and looks off into the sky. What's it called that gives you the night vision? The nictus membrane in the back of the eyes that just sort of creates the glowing eyes of a predator that can see at night. Impossibly large on this wide horned head. You see 2 pinpricks of light off in the distance, and the bird screeches as it takes to the sky. You hear a low song come from that direction, something somewhat familiar, and ribbons of color begin to trail off of it. These bands, like banners waving off of the like from the tower, trailing off of the bird. It disappears off into the fog, and looking up you see the aurora that you have seen cross the sky every single night, as the Frostmaiden begins to paint her rime. And I think that's where we're going to leave off.
The entire time, Burning Star is just like dead watching this. Would like to throw that one out there. But that is it for our game. Wings, thank you so much for running this incredible session. There were ghosts, there were ghost pirates, there was Jaws, there was a bird. It was a fantastic game. Thank you so much. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh, hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I've got a pinned tweet there that says most of the things that I'm up to, so you can go and check that out and see where all of the Twitches that I'm on lately. DanaeKeener.com.
It's me now, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Satan, or Alice of Vamp, on the interwebs with Twitter and all that stuff. You can catch me here Sunday nights, playing with these awesome people in the Solstice and GM. You can also catch me here on Thursday nights, playing my vampire queen mobster. She's a lot, but she's awesome, and we love her. Lilith in Monster Noir, which we're using the City of Mist TTRPG to help us create this beautiful world that we made at like 3 a.m. together. And you can also find me Saturday nights over at Plot Hunters. We started our new season last night over at 8 p.m. EST. We just went to Candlekeep. We're gonna go into the Underdark hopefully soon. We're gonna go to the Yawning Portal, Skullport, all that fun stuff. And Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. EST, 12 hours before this game, you can find me over at the Hype Goblin, where I DM my friends through Nexus Adventures, which is my homebrew world that I've created with them, and I love it. We were missing a player today, so we played Adventure Skeletons. I was a skeleton with Skelly McBone Daddy, who had a kind of like somewhere around New York accent, and said the famous last, like, they asked me if I was a boy or girl. I said, lady, I'm a pile of bones. That was all I wanted to do in that game, is say that. But yeah, other than that, you can find me on Twitter at Alyssa Vamp, where I post art and other stuff, and my cat. I post a lot of my cat because I love her. But yeah, that's me.
Oh, hi, everybody. It's me, LizMac, here on Twitch, or at LizMacD22 on the Twitter. You can find me here every Sunday night for Rime of the Frostmaiden. Also, during the week, I am the amazing community manager of Clever Plays Studio. We're a really small indie studio based out of Montreal, and our game Operation Tango is available on PC and consoles right now. If you're interested in any of that fun stuff, all of my links are in the link tree in the chat, which is linktree/liz.mac. And I can't wait to see you all next Sunday.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. But speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord, and we will do our best to respond in kind. But with that, I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop by. Thank you to Danae for running this absolutely incredible game. And thank you to these wonderful players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!